Mád, with its past of more than half a millennia, is located in the western side of Tokaj wine region in northeastern Hungary. The village's first church dates from the late Middle Ages for a long time. The Catholic Church was the only place of worship in Mád. That is until the Calvinist Church was built in the middle of the 18th century as a result of both the centuries-long economic development based on grape cultivation and wine production and the strengthening Reformation. Income from the wine trade, on the other hand, made the building of the synagogue possible. The village today preserves its appearance, which evolved during the 18th and 19th centuries. Both in the past and nowadays, Mád is one of the most important villages in the Tokaj wine region, the source of Aszú, one of the most extraordinary sweet wines in the world.
We need to show those details of the wine region which haven't seen the light of a day for a long time. The wine region has a long past and a great deal of value. Geological processes created this value, giving birth to 400 such volcanoes which shape the surface of the wine region. There are a total of 27 towns and villages in the region. The center of the Szent Tamás winery is located in Mád. Why Mád? On the one hand, we live here and we know it the best. On the other, the village has the largest continuous vineyard area in the wine region.
However, the Tokaj wine region also has huge potential besides Aszú wines. Centuries of experience and its extraordinarily rich natural characteristics has encouraged today's producers to seek out new paths. This has led to the dry Tokaj wine, Furmint, as well as the reinvented Aszú wine. This grape variety produces inimitable vineyard-selected wines thanks to the geological diversity of the landscape. The wine produced from the Szent Tamás winery's Birsalmás vineyard is a wonderful example of this. The Birsalmás vineyard combines red clay and rhyolite bedrock with zeolite minerality. Furmint's acidity, on which the wine is based, is beautifully complemented by the aromatic hárslevelű. Of course, each vineyard has a different character which depends on various things, for instance, on what kind of mineralization took place under the surface millions of years ago. The warmly situated Nyulászú vineyard is covered with a layer of brown clay with some surface scree, whereas its most important clay mineral, zeolite, is found in deep layers. This all contributes to making its wines more fragrant and vibrant than those of the other vineyards. Mád's most important water crystallized mineral is zeolite. It has water to thank for its porous structure, which enables the vine to guide its roots down to the deepest layers so that the plant can nourish itself from several geological regions. The diversity of Mád's volcanic terroir confronts open-minded wine experts with disruption and novelty. The vineyards already displayed their characteristics in previous centuries, but at that time, Aszú production took priority as regards cultivation. It took centuries to realize that the land also provided another possibility, which lies in high-quality dry wine. It may seem almost self-evident, but that was not always the case, as high-quality dry Furmint is now only just beginning to be satisfactorily produced to meet international demand. The impressive, geologically endowed region and within it the Mád vineyard area is particularly rich in a diverse mixture of minerals. The wine region's main grape variety, Furmint, is on the other hand a worthy team player, able to subordinate itself to this diversity of characteristics and transform the spirit of the terroir into a characterful wine. Furmint, which reflects the characteristics of the individual vineyards, is already being discussed together with the most prestigious white wines. Its wines, rich in minerality and inimitable acidity, are already considered a concept in wine expert circles. The Aszú berry, with its extremely high sugar content, forms the basis for the unique Tokaj Aszú. An indispensable condition for its development is the formation of Botrytis cinerea in the vineyards. Tokai winemakers eagerly awaits this phenomenon every year. A combination of several weather factors is necessary for this to occur. In the late autumn mornings, at the end of October, beginning of November, a blanket of fog covers the vineyards, whereas bright sunshine and mild warm weather are needed during the day. If the ideal state is established, then Botrytis cinerea, the noble rot, settles on the skin of the healthy grape, interweaves a web of fine fungal threads, thus thinning the berry's skin, and its presence over days and weeks slowly withdraws the moisture from the berry. Meanwhile, it spreads from one berry to the other. In the case of great Asu vintages, it pervades the whole cluster, concentrates all the berries, and the unique palette of aromas and flavors develops in the nascent Asu berry. The richly concentrated berries, outwardly reminiscent of raisins, are picked individually by hand from the cluster by ladies. This is an extremely labor-intensive task. Oak not only plays an important role in the landscape of the wine region, but also in its winemaking. For centuries, the locally produced Zemplén oak has provided the raw materials for the barrels needed for the maturation of Tokai wine, also subtly contributing to the wine's flavor.
Itt évszázadok óta.
This craft has been carried on for centuries here, thanks to its high-quality raw materials, the sessile oak and the Tokai wines, which were shipped in oak barrels to Tsarist Russia and Poland throughout history, meaning skilled craftsmen were needed at this time. That's when our ancestors or grandfathers, great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers ended up here. And since then, actually the first written record of the craft's existence dates from the beginning of the 1800s. We've been working here since then, passing the tradition of the craft down from father to son.
Nyománya.
Sessile oak of an appropriate age is felled and cut into logs, and then it is seasoned for several years. Afterwards, the raw material is planed and polished into shape. The staves are then fitted into the metal hoop and pulled together. This is how the processed wood takes its final shape in the hands of a good master cooper and becomes a barrel. Finally, it is charred. Since the 19th century, the container used in Tokai is the 136-liter Gönczi barrel. The Dongó vineyard in Tája, bordering Mád, was already considered top class in the 18th century. It has andesitic bedrock and its soil is dark due to deposits of volcanic ash. The wine it produces is extraordinarily complex and mineral thanks to the zeolite. The 2013 Dongó Furmint is characterized by intricate acidity and fruitiness. The Tokai volcanic terroir is a result of the hydrothermal processes occurring in the depth of the Pannonian Sea tens of millions of years ago. The Furmint grape variety shows great virtuosity in its capability to convey the uniqueness of the extremely diverse soils. A new experience is concealed in every bottle of vineyard-selected wine. Mád's smallest first-class vineyard is Perce. It has rhyolitic bedrock with bentonite filling the cracks in the rocks. It produces wine with striking acidity, harmoniously combined with fruitiness and minerality. Its flavor and aroma demonstrates that both Furmint and the vineyard are exceptional. Long aging potential is hidden within its bottles. A royal decree issued in 1737 made the Tokai wine region the first demarcated wine region in the world. The strategic importance at the time of the special Tokayasu wine brought both economic prosperity and renown to the wine region. The storms of history, especially the trying periods of the 20th century, did not spare the wine region. However, the last 25 years has seen the beginning of its reconstruction. In confirmation of this, in addition to its professional activities, in 2002, the UNESCO World Heritage Committee included the Tokai wine region on its World Heritage list as a cultural landscape thanks to the conservation of the 1,000-year-old viticultural traditions and the uniqueness of the wine region. However, to also ensure the value of the cultural landscape in centuries to come, not only conservation of traditions is needed, but also innovations demanded by the modern age, such as the birth of the dry Furmint and the associated technology and architectural developments needed to bring it to life. The only chance for the wine region to make it back onto the international wine map is for us to show people its hidden assets, those based on its natural endowments. Of course, the grape variety is important, the process is important, the people are important, everything which interacts with this in any way is important. But the most important thing, the starting point for everything, is the region. A variety evolved, gaining strength especially after the phylloxera epidemic, a variety which was already here in the wine region, Furmint, which is currently planted in nearly 70% of the wine region, so can easily be called the main variety. The greatest asset of the variety is that it's not particularly aromatic, but rather that it's particularly adept at bringing out the region's qualities both on the palate and on the nose, such that the varietal characteristics fade into the background. Based on research to date, the most classic, the absolute pinnacle among the best vineyards is the Szent Tamás vineyard, which was already considered a first-class vineyard in the 18th century. This is the area with the most complex mineral content. Its bedrock is rhyolite, quartz and rhyolite tuff, whereas zeolite is the most dominant clay mineral element. The wine it produces is complex and deep with an infinitely long mineral finish. A true star. There can be no doubt that the Szent Tamás vineyard selected wines takes its place at the peak of any wine produced from Furmint. Indeed, the winery itself took its name from the vineyard. Today in Mád, the Szent Tamás vineyard is already considered a cult parcel of land. And who work with holy obsession in these vineyards? The Szepsi name has been inseparable from the wine region since the 17th century. István Szepsi Jr. represents the 18th generation of the family and is the co-owner and technical director of the Szent Tamás winery. His deep engagement towards the wine region, closed within the bottle, is considered a symbol of the young winemaker who created the 86 parcel selected Szent Tamás dry Furmint. The wine, extremely rich in minerals, is a true speciality, the winery's wine of greatest stature thus far. Strict viticultural rules relating to protection of origin must be met for any wine, originating from a specific area of production, to be entitled to bear the name of a given place of production, village, vineyard, or parcel. This includes, for example, yield restriction, which begins with the pruning of the vines and later in the growing season, during the green harvest if necessary. Thus, only completely ripe grapes may meet the quantity and quality standards. Consideration of the age of the vines is also an important element influencing the quality and guarantee of the brand. Naturally, the vines must also be attended to following the harvest and prepared for the next growing season.
The Szent Tamás vineyard, from which the winery gets its name, is for the time being the most well-known vineyard in the wine region, the one with the most potential. Most wineries which produce vineyard-selected wine are located here. We didn't start to establish brand guarantees here, like in the case of the Perce vineyard or the Dongó vineyard, but we are doing our best to intervene with the kind of special selections that enrich any existing brand guarantees.
In addition to the protection of origin, a 750 ml bottle has been designed for the dry wines as a pair to the transparent Assú bottle, just slightly larger and in green-brown. The bottle is closed with an elegant glass stopper. The new bottle is a symbol of the Renaissance taking place in Tokaj. All of the Szent Tamás wines are released in this. The Szent Tamás winery's entry-level wine is the collective village wine born 5 years ago, now produced every year as Mád Furmint. Yields are already restricted in the case of this wine, a maximum of 7 tons per hectare. The grapes are then processed reductively in a processing facility satisfying the requirements of the 21st century. Increasing amounts of this wine are produced each year, thanks to the success of this cooperation and consumers' enthusiasm for it. Naturally, in addition to the dry wines, the winery also produces Assú in suitable vintages, not simply because of the hundreds-of-year-old traditions, but also because it is impossible to have enough of this natural wonder. This naturally sweet wine, born from sunlight, with its inimitable palette of flavors. 2009, was a dry, hot year with a late harvest. The base wine for this vintage's Osu came from the Perce vineyard, whereas the Osu berries came from the Donska vineyard. The Osu wine was matured in Zemplin barrels for 4 years. A well-balanced, complex dessert wine with a long finish found its way into the bottle. The staff of the Szent Tamás winery is investing a huge amount of energy in reviving vineyards, relegated to the background over the course of the 20th century and making them fertile again. You'll be able to taste wines from these vineyards within a few years, which will further enhance not only the winery's range, but also the picture of Mád vineyard areas. Their work so far has not only brought the Szent Tamás winery's success in Hungary, but the international market has also given them some serious feedbacks. The Mád Furmint has been awarded with silver and gold medals and has been scoring 90+ points for some years now. It has been named among the best wines by the Sommelier Wine Awards, the English Decanter magazine, through to the Wine Merchants and other English publications. The Szent Tamás winery, founded 7 years ago, cultivates grapes on 25 hectares of Mád's finest vineyards. It has enough capacity to process the harvest of several hundred hectares at the highest standard and deliver them to the tables of consumers in foreign markets. It is the engine for Mád's development, right through from hospitality to developments related to wine tourism, as well as being the key player in the integration behind Mád Furmint. The diverse energy invested in the last few years has already brought visible progress and achievements it can be proud of. The son of the winemaker, recognized for reinventing Tokaj, István Szepsi. István Szepsi Jr. is responsible for the continued maintenance of high standards and further development of its viticulture and winemaking. The extraordinary natural characteristics, the centuries-old traditions still alive today, the unique winemaking methods, the ability to renew and take action, and the combination of talent and human knowledge all constitute the place in the Tokaj wine region we call Mád. The essence of all this is contained in the unmistakably shaped bottle.